This is one of the problems in your homework. You are a newspaper publisher. You are in the middle of a 1-year rental contract for your factory that requires you to pay $500,000 per month, and you have a contractual labor obligation of $1 million per month that you can't get out of. You also have a marginal printing cost of 25 cents per paper, as well as a marginal delivery cost of 10 cents per paper. So let's take a look at this discussion here. It says you are a newspaper publisher. You're in the middle of a 1-year rental contract. Okay, so it's a contract you can't get out of. And you have to pay $500,000 per month. Okay, so if this is something that you can't get out of, this is one of your fixed costs. Okay, so rent $500,000 per month, and this is fixed. Why? Because you have a contract. Then you have contractual labor obligations of $1 million per month that you cannot get out of. So this is going to be wages. We're going to just call this wages. Okay, remember, an obligation is a commitment. And if it's a commitment, it's not something that you can get out of. Okay, so we're going to add these two together, and that's going to give us $1,500,000. Okay, so we add these two together, and this becomes our total fixed cost in this problem. Okay, so we're just going to pay attention to that first part of the problem. Then if we go to A, we will see, you have a marginal printing cost. What does marginal mean? Remember that marginal means one additional. So each additional newspaper that you are printing is going to cost you 25 cents per paper and a marginal delivery cost of 10 cents per paper. Okay, so for every paper that you print, you're going to have to pay 25 cents for printing for paper and 10 cents for delivery. Okay, so those become your variable costs. Okay, so in this particular problem, your variable cost, and I'm just going to put variable cost, is going to be equal to your printing cost of 25 cents and your marginal delivery cost of 10 cents. So we'll put printing 25 cents per copy, and delivery is 10 cents. So that tells you that our variable cost is 35 cents, and it's actually per unit, right? So that's actually an average variable cost. We're assuming variable cost and marginal cost are equal here. Okay, so now we've laid out the problem. We know our fixed cost and we know our average variable cost. So the question says, if sales fall by 10%, let me get my highlighter here. If sales fall by 20% from 1 million papers per month to 800,000 papers per month, what happens to the average fixed cost per paper? Okay, so what you need to know here are some formulas. Okay, so let me erase what I have. I'm going to erase all this right here. Remember this number, our fixed cost is 1,500,000. Okay, so get some room here on the board. So think about what is average fixed cost. How do we figure that out? Okay, so it should be in your notes. The word average usually means you're going to take the total and divide it by the number of units, right? So you don't have to start thinking about a new formula or anything. Just pay attention to the word average. Okay, so average fixed cost, and this is a concept I went over in my lecture with you, is going to be equal to the fixed cost divided by the number of units being produced. Okay, so it asks you what the fixed cost per paper is going to, what is it going to do when our sales drop by 20%? So what we need to do is we need to figure out what our average fixed cost is when we're producing 1 million papers. Okay, so first we need to take our fixed cost, which we know, that's over here, is equal to 1,500,000 divided by the number of newspapers that we're making, which is 1 million, and that's going to give us per unit, its cost, fixed cost are $1.50 per paper. Okay, so when we're producing 1 million newspapers, it costs us $1.50 in fixed cost. But then it says it drops to 800,000 papers. So now, and by the way, this is your AFC, your average fixed cost. Let's find out when the number of units drops to 800,000. So our fixed costs stay the same, right? Because this is a one-year contract and this is a contractual labor obligation. Our fixed costs stay at 1,500,000. But now we're selling less. We're selling 800,000. Okay, so we're going to take 1,500,000 divided by 800,000, and that's going to give us $1.88 average fixed cost. Now we can answer the question. The question is, if sales drop, by 20% from 1 million papers per month to 800,000 papers per month, what happens to average fixed cost per paper? And so we see here, average fixed cost goes from $1.50 and it increases to $1.88. So what are we going to put over here in our blank? Average fixed cost is going to do what? So then you would put increases. Okay, kind of hard to do this. Increases from $1.50 per paper to $1.88 per paper. Okay. And then it says, what happens to the marginal cost per paper? Well, nothing happened to it. Okay, because why? Marginal cost in this case is per unit, and it is also equal to our variable cost in this case. So what happens to our marginal cost? Nothing. Okay, it stays at 35 cents per paper. Now, here's a question. Okay, if in this example our marginal cost is equal to our variable cost, what is the average total cost of these newspapers? And so then to get that, what are you going to do? I'm going to write up here. Okay, so average total cost, what is the formula? Is equal to our average fixed cost plus our average variable cost. So we're going to take $1.88 plus 35 cents is going to give us $2.23. And now the cost of the newspaper has gone up. Okay, and you will note when we were making 1,000,000 copies, what happened? Same formula, AFC plus AVC. So average variable cost in our example stays at 35 cents. Average fixed cost was $1.50. And now the average total cost is $1.85. So at 1,000,000 copies, we were able to sell this newspaper at a break even that was much less than when we're selling less. This is important because this is actually what many newspapers have had to experience. Many newspapers have had to close down, and you will see here that what has happened is that the El Paso Times, our newspaper, has moved to print its production to Juarez. And the key reason is most likely because of printing costs. Okay, so the company is moving the paper's printing and packaging operations to the Paso Norte Publishing in Juarez in early October. Okay, and so one of the reasons that they're doing this is so that they can preserve the printing costs. Okay, so that's how that problem is solved. Please let me know if you have any questions.